Good evening and welcome to the program. Toward the middle of last year was when Papua New Guinea went through what many thought was the brunt of a prolonged dry spell, one that left many rural communities across the country decimated. Much of the effect has since disappeared, with most affected communities seeing food crops producing and their water sources flooding. There has also been much assistance from various levels of government and agencies. However, for one community in the Rigo inlands of Central Province, the effects of the dry weather are still taking a serious toll. For the past 14 months, the Rigwali Rubu community has been struggling. Food and water shortages are daily challenges for the families who live there. EMTV cameraman Iwana Kila visited this community and captured their story. The narration to tonight's episode is provided by EMTV journalist Jack Lepauve Jr.
It's been a challenging daily routine for the Rigwali Rubu community when it comes to accessing water. After walking for hours under unforgiving conditions in the jungle, they will then spend hours at water holes before returning home with a container of water. The thirst for water pushes its family to leave their homes and search for water holes. Once a water hole is located, it's another 3 or 4 hours of waiting for a single water container to be fully refilled. Mud-blotched faces tell of the desire to access a basic need of life and something other parts of the country are taking for granted: water.
Okay, this is how we get water from the water well. Now we don't have enough water. If we want to get water, we'll stay for maybe 4 to 5 hours.
You play come on time Ken?
6 o'clock.
Morning.
6 o'clock morning plakam na. Impla sidang go. Wara ino pula ket na impla wait go. Wara by pula pasta impla bayi. Impla bayi pula pin na impla bayi.
The population of this village have been drinking this water, using this water to cook. No matter what, we received some droughts. We experienced other droughts. This water never dried up until now. This water well has no more water. It can't contain water. It's finished. All these creeks are dried up. This used to be running creeks, running waters, no matter what. Year out, year in, year out, these creeks were with water, flooded with water. Our ancestors' water sources are all dried up. These ones are found by the little children like this here, these little children. With their fathers, with their mothers. They have been digging right through, digging in the ground, digging right through. It takes this water container for 4 hours, 4 hours to be filled. And these children here, small children, can sit in this water well for a day, one whole day. This is very serious. It's a serious matter. So we are appealing again to the national government, especially our good honorable governor and our honorable member for Rigo Anopala to intervene as soon as possible. We are also calling on the donor agencies to please put us in the list. Thank you.
Rigwali Rubu is of Rigo, one of the most heavily populated communities in the Rigo district of Central Province. The life of this rural community is closely tied within its strengths of its family units. However, for these people, it is a daily struggle to find both water and food.
Riwali Rubu's population is about 3,000 people living within this Babagarupu tribe. It's a big village. This 3,000 population today have been affected because this El Nino has dried up all the creeks, dried up all the coconuts that our ancestors planted. All the bush gardens, all the bush gardens are now finished. The wild yams that our ancestors called virua, that virua, so-called virua, is a bush yam that our ancestors survived on. Even today, we survived on that bush yam. When the other crops like banana, cocoa, yam, when they are finished, when they are dried, we depend very much on this bush yam.
Like the rest of the country, the Rigwali Rubu experienced the prolonged dry weather in June 2015. Since then, the effects of the dry spell have unfortunately remained in this community. The devastating heat has shown no mercy for food crops in the gardens. Despite the hardship faced by this community, they have survived all odds to overcome the drought with the little food they find.
Hadlo was hadlo washing clothes na mipla had through and banana bagarap na mipla kai displa kan kai na gaman blo mipla no stron na seven mipla lo pelas sabos gaman stron mipla painum kai na good pla kai mipla awesome dog na pig.
For the Rigwali Rubu community, water and food for their families is all that matters. With little access to transport, they travel to nearby villages to pay for water.
Population in this village and Amanas, no water in this village, and those who have money, they used to pay PMV and get water in Kalo village, Hula village, Kaparoko and other villages. But we have no food. All our gardens and orchards were dried and all bent down. And Amanas, there are about 7 or 8 people died and more than 2,000 still alive. And if you don't help us in this time, we're all going to die.
The community cannot plant new crops due to no rain. All our subsistence farming all dying out. All our coconut trees, betel nuts, and all other economics crops that the community can survive on. It's all dying out.
For women in Rigwali-Rubo village, it's a mammoth task in organizing their homes, feeding their children and giving hope to their families.
The mothers especially give very, very little time to wash up their dirty clothes, the children's clothes. To do marketing, the mothers today are out in the bushes, out in the mountains, looking for roots. Wild roots. My people are living on this food now. Many homes are deserted. Many houses are empty. Many families have walked miles, those blue mountains, across these mountains here. They've lived in the shelters. They're looking for food. Nothing else but food.
Life has never been easy for the Rigwali-Rubo community. Apart from the water and food crisis faced by the people, the dry spell has also severely affected the learning process of children attending the local primary and elementary school. Just over 300 students attend the Level 4 school run by the United Church. But for the past 14 months, classes have been disrupted by the extended dry spell and teachers are seeing a drop in attendance and in academic achievement. It's a saddening task for each student who is challenged by balancing life at school while playing his or her role at home.
Our children suffer, many of them, they don't eat in the morning. They come, they feel hungry, and they miss class. During the class hours, the hours of teaching, they miss out. They go out looking for food, and this makes us sorry. We feel very sad about it. They are missing the academic. That's on children's, us looking at children. And also at the same time, our teachers miss out because we don't have food in the house. At the moment, we don't have 100% teaching in the school today. Only half are here, half have left for their foodstuff in city. Our learning is not 100% due to the drought. We close school at lunch hour because we release our children to go and look for their water for the next day. So every morning when we ring the bell, it takes time. We wait for the children till around 9 o'clock, we start our assembly. And we start late. And it's sad looking at the academic around the nation. Okay, at the moment, we don't have water in the water tanks now. How we are suffering? We suffer.
With the dry weather taking its toll upon students and teachers, the school is also experiencing the decline of its current learning facilities. No support has been provided by the levels of government, education department or the Rigo district in maintaining its classroom facilities and student and teachers' materials.
Classrooms are not in good conditions. Toilets are not in good conditions. Students, they need good conducive environment to learn. Mean good buildings, enough space that we need, but we don't have enough to build those. We are really needing help from the outside, especially the politicians, governments, especially our electorate members. We are requesting your help. You can at least help us to build our new classrooms, teachers' houses, toilets, even specialties, materials, resource books. All this, we have shortage of this.
Elementary teacher Mr. Raka says the dry spell has denied local children from progressing in the learning. It's a worrying state for the 8 teachers teaching there.
Due to this effect, our children are in elementaries. Many of them run away from school because in the morning they never eat. At the same time, they are too small. We cannot hold them in the school. And we are still facing this problem. We want assistance from the government to help us, especially for this reason.
Nothing has gone right for the Rigwali Rubu community. The construction of a sub-health center has been halted due to non-completion of funding by the central provincial government. The local ward councillor told EMTV the incompletion of the sub-health center has left people suffering with several deaths this year.
The mentioned communities have been struggling to look services from Kemabolo 8 Post, Hula Health Sub-Center, and Kwikila Health Center, District Health Center. Otherwise, due to transport leakings, we have problems. And just recently, we have 2 snake bites. The victim has died, and we cannot help it. And we are very concerned about this.
The dry spell upon these people has even affected the community's biggest project, the building of a new church. Given the decrease in economic activities in the village, local Reverend Don Abbas says it's both a physical and spiritual challenge for the Rigwali Rubu people.
We have all our plans. Those who sustain us for our income, revenues are all affected. That we couldn't go further, and all these people here are stranded. Normally they live out from their children who are working in the city. Therefore here the life here is a very, it's a little bit hard here. People are also surviving on their own.
The Rigwali Rubu community is one of the few communities in the country where the dry spell has unleashed some of the worst conditions to human life. This scorching heat has destroyed their gardens, eliminating flowing creeks and rivers, disrupting education and health services, and stopping church growth. Village elders have now discussed a way forward and are about to make a historic decision by moving out of the current village location in search of a better life and avoid the dry spell.
The only option, if we can't get any assistance from the formal government today, or the United Nations, the only option that we will do is to have a big meeting with the village chiefs and move out to other places where there's water. That could be the next option we will think of. Otherwise, that will be very hard because we have the bones of our people who died in the village here. We cannot live. It's very hard. We are very cross. We are so cross. The honorable member for Rigo, Anopala, please walk into our village with water, with food. Honorable Governor, come into our village. Come and feed our people with food. Bring us water, like what you have been doing to other communities in Rigo District, Central Province.